Welcome to Mythic for Foundry. In this video, I'll show you how to install the Mythic for Foundry system, launch a new game using the system, and adjust the system settings. First, we want to be sure you're using a compatible version of Foundry VTT. This system was written and tested on versions 0.8.7 and 0.8.8. It may still work on older versions of Foundry, but they haven't been tested. Here, I have a fresh install of Foundry version 0.8.8, the latest version as of the making of this video. There are two ways we can install Mythic, using a manifest link or manually. I'll show you how to do both in this video. Installing using a manifest link is probably the easiest way to install Mythic. After launching the Foundry client, we want to navigate to the Game Systems tab, then select Install System. You will see at the bottom a text input field for a manifest URL. We can retrieve this URL from the GitHub repository. This is the Mythic for Foundry GitHub repository, where you can find the manifest link, download the system files for manual installs, and view the available documentation. I recommend you take the time to read the README, as it contains, among other things, lists of known bugs and planned features. For now, though, we're only interested in getting the manifest link. Under the installation section of the README, you can see the link to the manifest in a bullet point here. We're going to copy this link, then head back to Foundry. After copying the link, paste it into the text field here, then click Install. Once complete, Foundry will display a message indicating that the system has been installed successfully, and you should see it appear in the list of systems. That's all it takes to install Mythic using a manifest link. Installing Mythic in this way will always retrieve the latest release. However, if you want to install an older version of Mythic, you will need to do so manually. If you want to install Mythic manually, you will first need to navigate to your Foundry VTT system files on your machine. You can find where this is by looking in the Configuration tab for the user data path. Next, we will have to go back to GitHub to download the system files. To download the system files, we will navigate to the Releases page. The link is in the right-hand sidebar. Here will be a list of all released versions of Mythic for Foundry, along with the changelog and some assets, which is what we're after. On whichever version you want, download the mythic.zip file. In the window on the left, I have navigated to the user data path as outlined in the Configuration tab of Foundry VTT. From here, we want to select the Data folder, then the Systems folder. Now that we have the zip file containing the Mythic system in our Downloads folder on the right, we want to unzip it. That will give us this Mythic folder, which we can open to find another Mythic folder nested inside. We're going to copy this internal Mythic folder into our Foundry system folder. Installing this way will require you to restart Foundry, but once it launches, you should see the Mythic system under the Game Systems tab, ready for use. Now that we have Mythic installed, let's make a new world with it. Under the Game Worlds tab, select Create World. Let's give our world the name Mythic Demo. I'll also put a spinal case version of the world name into the data path field. Then, we'll select 4.0 as our game system from the drop-down menu, then create our world. From here, we can launch. That's all there is to it. Before I end the video, I'll quickly show you the settings specific to the Mythic system and how to change them. Under the gear icon in the right-hand sidebar, we're going to select the Configure Settings option. Then, we're going to select the System Settings tab. This will show us all of the system-specific settings for Mythic. Currently, there are only two: setting the critical failure threshold and selecting the method for governing critical hit damage. We can set the critical failure threshold using this slider bar. Whatever it's set to, rolling this number or higher on a D100 will result in a critical failure. By default, it is set to 98, the standard for Mythic 4.0. Mythic 4.0 uses special damage when a damage roll turns up a maximum result on a die, but not all players use this system. To accommodate these homebrew players, I've included the option to instead use exploding dice, like Wrath of the Emperor from the Warhammer 40k role-playing games. You can choose to explode forever, as many times as a maximum result is rolled, or just to explode once. Please keep in mind that For those of you using the default special damage rules, the system is not currently set up to calculate special damage or apply its effects to actors as of yet, so you will have to calculate that yourself. Still, attack rolls with all weapons do provide specific hit locations for every successful hit to aid in this. In order to preserve your changes, make sure to click Save Changes. That's going to do it for this video. To recap, we covered installing Mythic, both with a manifest link and manually, creating a world, and adjusting the system settings. The next couple of videos will cover actors and items, and how the two interact using Mythic 4.0. We'll demonstrate all of this by creating our own character. Until then,